one stage, but they've taken him out. He pulled up. He pulled up last time behind Malco de Beaumont.
Yeah, just the 7 runners here now, so watch out for those each-way bets. Just before they kick off here at Wetherby, Alistair's got some news.
Now, I want you to really concentrate. Now, this is the 5th leg of the Scoop 6, about to be off at Wetherby. The 4th leg's at Chepstow, but they haven't run it yet because it's running late. So the 5th is before the 4th. If you can sort out the winners, it's hard enough, let alone the order they're running them in.
Yeah, that does confuse things, doesn't it? Anyway, so you might still be in if you bomb out of the 5th, and you might still be in the 4th. I don't know. Anyway, here we are. They're about to line up here, 3 miles and a furlong. Bannister Lane, possible front runner here with the cheek pieces. That looks like they're going to take another turn, doesn't it?
I suppose for a lot of people, they'll be able to say, well, at least we got as far as the 5th, which they wouldn't always be able to, even though they might have got out in the 4th if they'd run to time.
And we'll keep you posted on that anyway, that's for sure. The starter's moving across towards the rostrum. Confused? You soon will be. Anyway, they're taking umpteen turns before they're being called in. So, John, what's your idea of the winner here?
I must admit, I'll stick with Dawn Ride.
Okay. Stuart Machin then, who's a regular at Wetherby, calls them home.
3 miles and a furlong ahead of them. A run of, well, in excess of 600 yards to the first of 16 fences, and Bannister Lane showing up in front as they go into their first turn to the grey Labarec on the near side of Grippet and Tippet. And then the well-backed Canada Street slotting into 4th, just ahead of Flake in the orange jacket. Dawn Ride, who's developed a bit of a love affair with Wetherby this year. Hoot sleeves on the inside of Malco de Beaumont, who was 3rd in this corresponding race back in 2008. So across the back straight for the first time they go. Bannister Lane is 5-time chase winner, giving a lead to Grippet and Tippet, former Irish trained gelding, now with Sarah Humphrey. He's done so well this autumn with Toby Jug. Labarec, his first run for trainer Neil King. Grey Labarec on the far side as they rise at fence 1. Leading 3 over safely, as indeed the other quartet. And now the ditch for the first time. Bannister Lane from Labarec, Grippet and Tippet, Canada Street, Flake, Malco de Beaumont, Dawn Ride. Watch them all safely to the other side of the ditch. So a couple more plain fences to jump in the back straight this time. Once again, no ditch at the far end of the straight. Canada Street just reaching for that one a fraction. As Bannister Lane leads Labarec. A couple of lengths up on the free-going Grippet and Tippet. Malco de Beaumont on the far side of Flake. And then Canada Street and Dawn Ride held up in customary fashion by Fergal Davis. So moving steadily to the far corner of the racecourse. Bannister Lane from Labarec, who was a winner here over hurdles last week on what proved to be his final start for Howard Johnson, claimed out of that race by Neil King. Grippet and Tippet, 3 lengths away in 3rd place, running around the turn. Then a break to Flake, wide of Canada Street. Malco de Beaumont, one of last year's Tommy Whittle chase at Haydock in similarly testing conditions, held up. Dawn Ride in last position. Swinging on in at the 2-mile point here. Bannister Lane joined by Labarec. Half a dozen lengths up now on Grippet and Tippet, then Flake, Canada Street, Malco de Beaumont and Dawn Ride at the tail. 4 fences up the straight stand before them. Labarec and Bannister Lane at the 5th. Both jumping soundly from Grippet and Tippet. Dawn Ride in rear, perhaps spending slightly longer in the air than the other 6. Labarec and Bannister Lane. Again, rising pretty much as one. Grippet and Tippet away to the right. Canada Street and the familiar beige and black silks of Graham Wiley. Dennis O'Regan on board, disputing 4th with Malco de Beaumont and Flake. Dawn Ride in rear, and Labarec is down. Labarec a fall, a bad mistake by Canada Street. Malco de Beaumont was hampered as Labarec tried to get to his feet. So all changed the complexion of the race at that 7th fence. Canada Street a mistake there, now finds himself in last place. And it will now take all Dennis O'Regan's powers of persuasion to ease him back into the contest as they race up to the halfway point. And the grey Labarec is galloping loose in pursuit of the field. I'm scanning back down the track to see that, well, Dougie Costello is sitting up now on the landing side of that plain fence. So Bannister Lane now pressured by Grippet and Tippett as they race towards the far side. Flake disputing third with Malco de Beaumont in the red jacket, and then Dawn Ride and Canada Street, a couple of lengths away, is now being given ample opportunity by Dennis O'Regan to recover from that blunder, and also from being slightly hampered by the fall of Laverec. Closing in on the 9th, Bannister Lane from Grippet and Tippett on the far side. Then Malco de Beaumont, the admirably consistent Flake in 4th, orange jacket. Leading pair jump well there. Dawn Ride took it in 5th. Canada Street a bit slower through the air, 4 lengths off them as they go to the ditch for the final time. Still 10 furlongs to travel at this point. Bannister Lane, Grippet and Tippett. Good jump from Flake. Dawn Ride easing into it, wide of Malco de Beaumont, and Canada Street still 4 or 5 lengths away. Dougie Costello walking just a little gingerly off the track, but happily on his feet from that fall there. Dawn Ride made a mistake when beginning to close on the leaders. So just one more to jump across on the far side of the racecourse. Bannister Lane and Grippet and Tippett, that was 5 out. Malco de Beaumont's close up. Then Flake, Dawn Ride and Canada Street being chased along by Dennis O'Regan, still 4, 5 lengths adrift as they now enter the final, 6.5, 7 furlongs or so of the contest. So Bannister Lane with the cheek pieces, Grippet and Tippett, Peter Toole on board, promising conditional, the maroon silks. Malco de Beaumont, red jacket, a close 3rd. Flake's a half length away, and Dawn Ride right behind them in 5th. And then 3 lengths to Canada Street, who's still in touch at the back of the field, but his jumping will need to be sharp up the straight. Dennis O'Regan is having to work quite hard to get him into contention. Bannister Lane now coming under pressure. Grippet and Tippett still travelling strongly right up sides. Then a couple of lengths to Malco de Beaumont. It's being hustled along. Dawn Ride is towards the left. Flake coming under pressure. And then this break to Canada Street. So in line for home, these final 4 fences to jump, a half mile to travel. The game Bannister Lane receiving reminders, but back in front again from Grippet and Tippett. Malco de Beaumont, red jacket, going okay. Dawn Ride on the left. Flake rallying to get into contention. Canada Street only a couple lengths off him, and Dawn Ride has gone. Slithered to a halt and unseated Fergal Davis. So 5 left standing as they come to the 3rd last. Bannister Lane now challenged by Flake, and Flake jumped to the front there. A bad blunder from Grippet and Tippett. He's virtually stopped to walk, and it's Flake now bounding up towards the 2nd last, beginning to draw away. Canada Street has gone into 2nd. He's starting to stay on under pressure. Then Malco de Beaumont, Bannister Lane and Grippet and Tippett with legs of jelly. Flake in this stamina sapping test here, down to the final fence, through the top, over safely, and quite some way clear now of Canada Street. Then Malco de Beaumont, Bannister Lane, Grippet and Tippett's only just clambered over the last. The diminutive Flake staying on stoutly up the Wetherby run-in and drawing away under a good ride from Charter Collier. Flake wins for the 2nd time at the track. Canada Street is 2nd. It's very close for 3rd between Malco de Beaumont and Bannister Lane, and Grippet and Tippett will walk up the run-in, the last to get round.
Yeah, well done, Taj Collier, and Sir Sue Smith, winner was needed. They've been running all right without actually winning much of late, but let's hope that Dougie Costello's okay. Really good lad, Dougie, and a nasty fall off of the grey horse, Laverec. Just bowling along, another circuit or so to go. They've actually been jumping well enough. Normally get horses, you know, at this stage, sitting up sides in front of Bannister Lane. Not very often they make a mistake. Just got in a little bit close, got his back end up much too high, and the fall was fine, but then just got mullered by Malco de Beaumont right on the shins. We'll keep you posted. Luckily it missed his head, but he'll be sore for a bit. And then we lost Dawn Ride, 3 out. Fergal Davis didn't have any chance of sitting on him, but Flake's come through, Cat, and he stayed well. Didn't look as though he did last time.
Well, that's it, John, isn't it? I was convinced they tried him over the course and distance last time out, and he was well beaten into 3rd. But what do I know? Sue Smith, she knows a lot more. It's by Zilzal, for goodness sake, this horse. You can't really apply any breeding sort of parallels, can you, over the sticks? This was a doer 3 mile 1 furlong today, and he's seen the trip out extremely well. He's not the biggest in the world, but he's all heart, Flake. And Jazz Collier in the saddle did the job well. But yeah, we send Dougie Costello our best wishes. That he was sitting up and being attended by the medics, so hopefully it's just bruises, nothing else. But it's horrible when you fall and their horse is coming up behind you like that, and you hope they can be nimble enough to avoid them. But
yeah, and it's not very nice for the lad who's on board either.
No, absolutely.
You know, you do your best and try to avoid him. It's a horrible feeling when there's somebody on the ground and you just cannot get out the way. But Flake's gone in 9-1, beats the 7-4 favourite Canada Street, come from a long way back, and Bannister Lane third at 4-1.